Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are out here traversing some really unkept, really wet trails. Some of you guys might recognize these trails actually because we've raced here quite a bit in the past, but there actually hasn't been that many races here. So the trails are unkept and they got like 2 inches of rain last night. So I was like, oh, it'd be such a good time to go out and ride. I'm also out here testing a new software update for the KO controller. If you guys want an update on the KO controller, they've done stuff with the sur-ron too, but we've been getting a lot of updates with the Talaria. This newest one is about throttle calibration at higher speeds, so I thought I'd get out here and test and see how it felt. I'm also out here testing the Qi battery that I have installed in the bike. So I have my upgraded KO controller on the bike right now, but obviously the KO controller isn't going to do much with a stock battery because the stock batteries like to overheat on these things, especially when you're pulling more amps than the stock controller does. So I got my sur-ron Qi battery. If you guys have been following me for a long time, I have a sur-ron 60 volt, 60 amp hour bypass battery from Qi Battery Systems. It's a monster battery. It easily doubles the range in the stock sur-ron. Riding the stock sur-ron at 9,000 watts, I was still getting double the range of a stock bike. So it's a crazy powerful battery. It's not double the weight of the stock battery, so that helps a lot with the range.
One of these days I'm just gonna bottom out. It's just gonna smack the balls and pop.
Also, if you guys can hear me talking in the background in this video, I apologize. While I'm riding, I usually just like talk to myself. It's not like I'm commentating or anything. Like I hit my balls really hard when I bottomed out here, and now I'm just talking to myself about my balls popping because I'm terrible at riding a bike.
We didn't go this way last time, did we?
But anyway, back to talking about the Qi battery. I took out a couple of the spacers inside the Talaria bike, and I was able to fit that sur-ron battery inside of the Talaria. And then I ended up making a adapter with a sur-ron connector going into a Talaria connector. And since both bikes just use DC power, I'm able to use my sur-ron battery in my Talaria with this adapter. So it's pretty nice. So the battery's rated up to 23 kilowatts. So I can pull quite a bit of power out of this guy, and it also has that 60 amps, so it's over double the range, around 9 or 10,000 watts. Right now I have the bike set to 12,000. I wanted to see what kind of power levels I can use with this battery without compromising the range, because we race a lot of hair scrambles and we definitely need that double the range. So I want to see, what kind of power I can use without, using a whole battery worth of power for this thing. Because at the end of this ride, I was using, like I said, 12,000 watts, and it was getting me about 9 or 10% for 5 miles. So it's about a 50-mile run with the 12,000 watts, which is just a little too short. So I think, 10,000 watts is a sweet point, because 12,000 was it was almost exactly 2 full charges like in range. So yeah, that's what I'm out here doing, testing the controller calibration and testing the battery of the range. And I also haven't got a ride in a long time, which is really sad. I get really depressed if I don't get a ride at least once a week. Anyway, the trails are, like I said, really muddy. They are actually, all these trails over where this track is, this is all really sandy. If you go back and watch the times that I've raced here, this is all super deep sand. But since it rains so much, the higher points in the ground are really not that bad. They're actually pretty perfect. But there are a lot of ruts and stuff, so there is a lot of water built up in those ruts, and it's kind of sketchy because when you go over where like a really deep rut is, you can't exactly tell how deep it is because it's full of water. So I'm riding a little bit cautious, but in the higher grounds it's pretty darn perfect. Normally you spin your tire out a lot because there's so much sand. I also need you guys' feedback on something here. So I'm out here, I'm also testing camera angles. and seeing where I really like the camera mounted better. Normally I have my camera mounted on my helmet, and I really like that because you can see exactly what I'm looking at all the time, and that's why I like the camera on the helmet so much. But it also, I don't like the really field of view, because when I'm riding I'm usually looking like directly ahead of the bike because I got to see where the trail's going. Right now in this video, I like this view a lot. It's mounted on my chest versus my helmet. And I like it a lot because you can see, you have a little bit better view of the trail, and you can see exactly what the bike's doing, so you can tell if it's going over like really hard stuff, or if we're just going really fast, or you know, whatever.
My brakes are like non-existent.
Right now I'm really thinking I like the chest view better because I like to see the bike and see how it's reacting to the ground that it's going over. And it still has a really good view of what's in front of you. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments about the camera view.
Don't want to end up in quicksand. Alright, there's a big dip up here that almost made me crash last time. Be nice if you can see. What the? Should go into the tree trimming service. Alright, here it is, here it is. Yep, that almost made me crash last time. A big old rut right into some water, and it's blocked by a tree. Oh, perfect.
So I gotta tell you guys about the tune that I'm riding right now because I absolutely loved it. It's a 12,000 watt tune. I have it set to 700 phase amps, and I'm running a 58.2 sprocket, and it was really like the best of both worlds. I think that so as far as gas bike goes, it's arguably the 125 is one of the best trail bikes because it's small and really maneuverable, and it has a decent amount of power, and it's just a really popular CC bike for trail riding. Me personally, I have a KDX 200, and that is probably my favorite gas bike to ride through the woods. It's a little bit bigger, but it has more top end speed than the 125, and it also has more low end power.
And just some other stuff.
But with this tune, I felt like I was on a 125, but it had a 200cc power. Like, I had tons of low-end torque, and then if I wanted top-end speed, I had the speed as well, and then the bike is really small and maneuverable, so it feels like a 125. I just love this tune so much. I'm going to lower the power down just a little to 10,000 watts, that way I have enough range to finish the hair scrambles. But the 12,000 watt tune, it felt so good. I absolutely loved it.
And I do not have cell service out here.
If you're pulling this kind of power out of your bike and you're worried about your motor overheating, I haven't had any problems at all pulling this amount of power with a Talaria. No overheating whatsoever. The highest I've gotten it is to 40 Celsius, which is not overheating really at all. In this ride, I couldn't even get it over 30, but it was probably because I was soaking it in water every 10 seconds.
Whoa, shit! Woo! Almost went over that edge. Sorry, excuse my language.
When I had my Qi battery on my sur-ron with the nuclear controller and I was running 12,000 watts, it was up at about 54 Celsius, so it was a lot warmer on the sur-ron. I'm not really sure why the Talaria motor is better at cooling off. Alright guys, well, that's my video today. If you stuck around for this long, thank you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments about the Talaria and about the KO controller and about the battery and about the camera view. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.